Hey, we're live! Sorry, missed it yesterday, missed it Thursday. I think I'm a little too close. I'm gonna have to see myself. Mute, quick! Good, I didn't have to hear. I'm way too close. Yeah, let me get further back here for a second. How's everyone doing? Where I live, 2:30 a.m. Jeez, that is late. How's everyone doing? How are we doing tonight? Yeah, it's a bit of a mess right now. I know, in the room, but it's all being worked on. How are we doing? Marcus, Try, Urbo, Psycho, Noosty, Awesome, Armpit, 123. Dang, that's an interesting name. What's up, Calvin? Angel, Markeel. How come you're streaming today? Well, because I didn't stream yesterday, and I like to do two streams a week. One stream that I do that's kind of at a good time for the United States, because that's the majority of my audience. So I try to do a live stream there. That's when everyone can see it. It's convenient for them. And then at a different time in the week, I like to do late at night so that I can reach different demographics, people overseas. So these streams never really get as many views or that much attention, but that's okay. I care about all of you, all of my fans all over the world. Appreciate all of your guys' support, especially Australia. I usually get a lot of Australian people here when I do these late night streams, which is fine. I know that very well because my girlfriend used to live in Australia. She lives here now, but I stayed up late, very late to talk to her every single day. Anyway, are you ready for the Apple announcement? I am. I'm ready for this to be over, and it's actually coming a bit sooner than I thought, to be honest. I thought it was going to be 12th and 19th, and now there's more leaks and rumors saying it's going to be 12th, and it's most likely for sure going to be the 12th. And that's rushing me a little bit, because for those who don't know, I am going to make one last iPhone edition video, one big iPhone recap video where I walk you through exactly what I think will be announced at the keynote. It's a big video, kind of like how iOS is better than Android was kind of, how do you say, it's a sit down, a bit more sophisticated, it's filmed in 4K. I filmed it, I'm in the process of editing it right now, and just the fact that it's likely going to be on the 12th now is making me accelerate everything really fast. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta get this done. Also, bunch of other top secret projects in the works. I know there's an absurd amount of projects right now. Oh, and Angel has a good question. He says, what are your thoughts on the Essential phone? I think it's great, and I'm really excited for it, and congratulations. Tomorrow's video is on the Essential phone. I did not buy one, sadly. No, I don't have one to review. Money is very tight right now because I'm saving for all the other Apple products in the year, as well as there's other things in life right now that are costing a lot of money, unforeseen expenses. It just happens. And speaking of expenses, Apple Fan says hi in the Super Chat. That's their first donation. Thank you. And yeah, 40,000 hype. You guys, we're at an all-time high for views and speed of subscribers. You know, before the last couple of days, the highest we've ever had was like 300 subscribers in a day. You guys have pushed that all the way up to 800. And I haven't seen today's statistics yet, but the latest up-to-date Creator Studio says that we received 800 subscribers in a single day. And that's because of the extreme success of the MKBHD video. That's getting tons and tons of views, and lots of people are subscribing from it. And that means I have another special announcement, a very special announcement, that I'm excited to announce, and I haven't really posted this anywhere else but Facebook, I think. I posted it to Facebook in the Discord chat. And you guys are hearing it first on the Tech Channel. Marquez has emailed me back. It's official. It was not a prank. It was not completely him forgetting about me. Legitimately, to be completely honest, he sent me an email this morning that said he was down to do a video chat, a collaboration video, where in the chat we'll just talk face-to-face, and he's going to film and record the audio of his side of the conversation. I'm going to record the video and record the audio of my side of the conversation. Then he'll share the footage with me, and we'll splice them together. So I don't... He wasn't very specific. He's been a very busy guy right now, to be fair. A lot of people kept asking him, when are you going to get back to Talos of Tech? When are you going to get back? I didn't want to bother him a lot because I knew that, first of all, he had to go to the Essential phone event and get his first impressions on that. Then he went to the Note 8 event, so he's kind of been all over, and he's been filming the videos, of course, for that. And then today, of course, we saw the first, well, not the first, but the first Marquez live stream he did on YouTube. I watched most of it. I commented in there a few times, but he doesn't have slow mode on, so the chat's like crazy, and there wasn't even super chat, so it was kind of a weirdish live stream. But anyway, I'm definitely excited. I'm pumped to see what kind of... I'm definitely working on questions, and because this appears to be more of a for sure thing happening, he basically just asked me for dates. You know, what days would be good to do the conversation, the collaboration video. And I shot him a couple dates, and I'm sure it'll take him a while to get back to me. I'm sure his inbox is loaded. But the bottom line is, there's another bit of evidence that this is in fact happening, and it took 5 days to get to there. Because he commented on the video on Monday, and I didn't get a response till this morning at Friday. So it definitely took a long time, but I'm excited. Timothy Baxter says, donated, says, iPhone 8 release date September 22nd. Okay, well, I hope that's what it is. I don't think that's confirmed, is it? If it would be, we'd see it on the Apple website, and it's not there. Okay. Well, there's a lot of leaks still saying that it's going to be on the 12th. I haven't seen a lot on the 22nd. Usually they don't go too late into the month. For those asking how you donate, you just got to use a browser. Okay, it's very simple. Just don't use the YouTube mobile app. Find the live stream in Safari. You can donate. Usually they don't have events so late in the month, but I would understand it in this case because it would take... The iPhone edition is so delayed as it is, and it's going to be so low in quantities. And also, another bit of slightly good news is that it's rumored to cost like $1,000, which is still a lot. Still probably one of the most expensive smartphones on the market, but definitely not as bad as the rumors were saying that it would cost $1,100 to $1,200, and in some instances, $1,400. So that means a little bit of money saving on my end, but which is great because there's big projects going on behind the scenes at Tailosive that I can't wait to tell you guys about. It's not a for sure thing yet. That's why I'm not announcing them officially. And I know it's kind of crazy right now. There's a ton of top secret projects, and I'm getting kind of carried away. You know, the Saturday short on the main channel tomorrow. It's joking about how many top secret projects there are. There's Project Evergreen, that's coming out in 4 days. Project Photon, which has been in the works for a month now, and probably another month of work is still required on it. In about a week, I'm going to announce Project Newport, which I talked about in today's episode of Refried Friday. So there's a lot of backstage things happening right now, but I can promise you they're all going to be great. Each one of these little top secret events that I'm planning, these top secret projects, are individually enough to get excited about. Photon, I can't wait to tell you guys what that is. It's going to be so incredibly exciting. Evergreen is also something I'm really excited about, and so is Newport. All of these things are giant changes. All I can say in terms of giving you hints is that big changes are coming to Tailosive. Probably the biggest changes we've ever seen to the Tailosive network, period, of all time. We're going to see the biggest changes ever. Okay, let's get into some regular chat, too. Apple has a Lightning to USB-C cable. Yes, they did. Oh, Apple fan has a super chat. Will the iPhone 8 be limited edition? Well, it's going to be limited unintentionally. It's going to be... I'm not trying to say they're like not going to make it very often, but they're definitely going to try to make as many of them as possible, but not necessarily they're only going to make them for a limited time and then you won't be able to buy them again. I think they're going to try to make as many of them as possible, but to answer your question, yes, they are going to be very limited in quantities. And I see the next super chat from Xbox Gorilla. Have you used the Windows Phone yet? And the answer is yes. I haven't tried to replace my iPhone with this. I don't think that would actually be possible. But for those who don't know, if you don't follow me on Instagram, someone in my P.O. box, or if you don't watch Tailosive Talks, that's where I unbox this. If you don't watch those channels, someone sent me a Nokia, I think it's a 521, and... Oh, no, don't power off. That's not what I said. Okay, I'm already great at this thing. It's so beautiful. Yeah, Noah sent this to me, and I know on Instagram I kind of made a joke about it. I said, I didn't expect people to send me trash in the P.O. box. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but to be fair, In the letter you sent me, you said, "I'd love to see you destroy this thing. It's an absolute joke." Very quick impressions of Windows Phone. I understand why no one uses it. Very quickly, because I've definitely never used a Windows Phone before, and I thought maybe like, well, it is original, you know, it's not Android and it's not iOS, but maybe Windows had something, and you know, Windows 10 and 8 I never really liked on desktops, but it was because it was designed to be on a phone, and this is a phone, so I tried it. Ugh, that was a bad idea. Windows, what were you thinking? Like, this is definitely not, yeah, I know there's no SIM card in it. This is definitely not how you want to use a phone. Invalid SIM card. Yeah, there's no SIM card in it at all. Jeez. Why do you try Windows Phone? Well, because a fan sent it to me. For those who don't know, anyone can send me anything at my P.O. box if they want me to review it. And I definitely think I will make a video about this at some point, but probably when I'm running low on ideas. One thing I didn't even notice until I opened the camera app, there's no front-facing camera. Which I thought phones that didn't have front-facing cameras died a long time ago. So, I think it's hilarious. I've been trying to like navigate through the menus on how a home screen works on Windows. It's not thought through. It honestly is just a mistake. Yes, the 521 is old, but these giant bezels. My God. If you're going to have 3 buttons on the bottom, can you at least center them? Why do you have to make them so much higher than the rest of the chin? Yes, it's definitely a joke, but I think it would be funny to do in a video because I've never reviewed Windows Phone. And technically, there's probably better Windows phones out there. I'm absolutely sure there are, but this still gets you in the Windows realm of how the operating system works. I don't like it. Are you using iOS 11 on your phone? Yes, I am. Yes, definitely. It was a budget phone, so don't judge. Okay, but even budget phones. What year did this come out? Oh, and Christian's saying, how high is your calorie goal on your Apple Watch? I've set it to 470, and it's been there for a long time. There will be 3 times the amount of iPhone 7S, 7S Plus versus the iPhone X. Not 3 times the amount, because for the last couple of years we've gotten 2. Technically, in 2016 we got 3, if you count the iPhone SE. So, in this year we're also getting 3. So, in a way, we're not getting any more iPhones this year. So, AirPods refresh incoming? I don't think so, Peter. I think if there was an AirPods refresh coming, we would be hearing leaks about it, or more patents, because we've really only seen one more patent for AirPods passed about the idea of the case having wireless charging on the outside. That's really all we've seen. So I wouldn't count on it. AirPods refresh, I think we would have heard more about it. Drew, could you please make sure the next time you go live in iPhone 8 keynote, the frame rate stays the same, unlike the Note 8 was unveiled? HUD's POV, look, I didn't choose for the frame rate to be constantly changing. It wasn't like, oh, I think it'd be fun if I changed the frame rate. It does that because the internet situation I have here sucks. For those who don't know, I do not have Wi-Fi at this house. The only reason I'm able to upload videos and live stream to you right now is because of Verizon Unlimited that lets me live stream from my phone. I've tried to live stream from my laptop, and obviously when I do reaction keynotes, I have to live stream from my laptop, but you quickly realize because of that reaction stream, the reason why I don't live stream from my laptop, audio and video get out of sync, doesn't look good, video, audio mess up, frame rate changes, obviously as you saw, frames drop. That's what happens when you try to live stream from a laptop, and I've tried live streaming with Windows, I've tried different live streaming programs, I try OBS, I've tried everything. Believe me, I'm very passionate about live streaming. I think it's a great tool, and I think that, especially with small channels like Tailosive, which we're not terribly small. I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, there are many channels larger than us. I think that live streams are a great way for me to interact with my audience because we're still living at a point where the channel's not so terribly small that what am I trying to say? Okay, I lost my train of thought because I got distracted by the chat. But I'm just saying that the channel's small enough that I can kind of read pretty basic chat. So hopefully, at some points, certain fans can get their question answered without having to donate, because we can have smaller streams, and there's also other channels like Taylosive Gaming. We live stream twice a week on there. Much smaller viewership, so if you don't feel like you're getting answered here, that's a great channel to subscribe to. And of course, the comments on Taylosive Talks get read far more often, as well as the main channel, Taylosive. Just finished the Saturday short coming out on the main channel, just the black tea, over on Taylosive, and I hope you guys enjoy it tomorrow. I wish I could make it better. I'm telling you, what you got on the Note 8 Unpacked event is the best I can do. I'm always trying to make it better, but that's basically all I can do, what you saw in that keynote. I know it sucks. Yes, the video looks very blurry. I agree. Oh, I saw a good question. When are you going to collaborate with MKBHD? It's still going to be entirely up to him. Basically, my schedule, because I'm working with such a massive YouTuber, and I'm such a tiny channel, whenever he asks if I'm free, I'm basically going to have to say yes. I'm not going to say, like, oh, that doesn't work for me, can we do this thing? I essentially have one, whenever is free for him, I'm going to accept that date. I threw a couple dates at him, but obviously it's going to be a while before he responds, because he's a very busy guy and he gets tons of emails. But the basic fact is he did respond. It's more than just one comment on my video. He's followed that up this morning with an email saying that, yes, he's interested in collaborating, and he's saying he can record his side of the conversation, and then he just asked, when's a good time? And I responded with a couple answers. I don't want to tell you what they are, because it's very possible he can't do those days. So we're going to find out at some point. It could be a while. If he's too busy, because I imagine he is going to the iPhone 8 keynote, we might have to wait till after that. I would like to do it before. What the heck, I'll just tell you guys, it's a live stream. I was really, really hoping to do it on August 30th or 31st, which are going to be big days as it is. On August 30th, we're unveiling Project Evergreen. And keep in mind, that's filming it, so you guys wouldn't see it for a couple days anyway. But that's the exciting part of it, is the fact that the email for Marquez, you know, he is actually responding, he is listening to me, and he is curious and interested in doing a collaboration video, which is exciting. Okay. Say Cow Goes Moo. Okay, Cow Goes Moo. Ash Film says, hey, Dad, what app do you use for your thumbnails? Okay, I don't think I'm your father. Yeah, that would be physically impossible. Yeah, I'm not. But for my thumbnails, I use an editing app, a photo editing app called Over, that works on iOS. It works really, really well. Some people like to make their thumbnails in Photoshop, but I think Photoshop's a tad too complicated. You know, it takes some time to boot up, and you got to get the drop shadows just right. I love the Over editing app. It's one of the best apps, I think, on the iOS platform, and it's really, really easy to use, and it gives you tons and tons of customization. It's not necessarily free. You can download it for free, but for a lot of the perks that I use, you have to pay for it, and I'm okay with that because it's a small company, but they do an extremely good job, so I encourage them to make more platforms. I wish they would make a video editing app. I love the people who work it Over. So yeah, and I believe it's on Android too, if you want it. God, I don't get all these dad jokes. Can you explain why your Wi-Fi sucks because of where you live? I heard you say that in another video. Do you mean your ISP sucks? I don't know what that is. But to answer your question, I live out in the foothills. I live in a very small town, Oroville, California, where there's not a lot of super fast Wi-Fi. There's places with Xfinity, but my house is not in town. It's way out of the way. It's kind of like at the end of a dead-end street. It's not like I'm in an area that gets Xfinity coverage. We used to have Wi-Fi here from AT&T, which was awful. It was literally like 1 megabyte down. And even less than that up. It was like 0.1 megabits up, which basically made it impossible. I could not upload videos here. If I wanted to upload a video that was fairly basic, like when I was younger, I could upload here because my videos were so crappy that I wasn't uploading much data. So I was uploading like 480p flip camera footage. If it was 4 minutes, it could take hours and hours and hours. So I would just set it up before I go to bed. And the other problem is, once you start uploading something, the internet speed of the entire Wi-Fi network would slow down. So if you were uploading, that meant no using the internet at all. If you were uploading, that's all the internet would do. That was it. So that was a big problem. And the other problem, apart from it just being slow, was that it cut out about every 6 hours. Every 6 hours, it would just shut off and disappear, and you would just go to the router, unplug it, and plug it back in, and it would take a good minute or two, and then it would boot up again. And the problem is, I'm still living with my family. I pay rent to be here, but I'm still living with them. They want to watch Netflix. They want to watch YouTube videos. So the great thing that allowed me to live stream from my room was Verizon announced Verizon Unlimited. And once that happened, the whole family just started using their hotspots. They started using their phone to rely their internet on. So once we did that, I can do things like live stream from my room, upload from here. Still not terribly great, and there's also bad things coming because Verizon, I've been reading reports that Verizon is going to down throttle a lot, basically all of their unlimited plans, so that you can't watch video above 480p and stuff like that. And I'm not sure when those are going into effect or if they are even eligible to me, but it's going to be a problem, I think. I can, in the foreseeable future, see a lot of problems with live streaming capabilities. Already it's not going terribly well, obviously, as you can... What can you view this live stream at? 480p maximum, and I'm sure that a lot of people still have lag with that. Believe me, if I could do better, I would. But I'm trying my absolute hardest. I can tell you I'm very enslaved. I'm a workaholic right now. I'm trying incredibly, incredibly hard. And no, I'm not going to get T-Mobile because that doesn't work out here. Believe me, we've tried everything. We've tried every different service out here. Verizon covers our house the best. AT&T cell net service doesn't. T-Mobile doesn't. Sprint doesn't. This is the best we can do. Chris Morris donated in Super Chat. He said, "Hey, son, can you please read my Quest home button?" My Quest? I don't understand. What's that? Okay, you Super Chatted, so I want to understand. Chris, what did you mean? Character limit? Oh. I don't know what you mean. Okay, here he is in the chat. Drew, have you noticed that the home button was uneven vertical spacing between the top and bottom on the iPad, yet it's perfectly centered on iPhone? I noticed it the other day. I can't ignore it now. I did not notice that, and I don't want to think about that. Don't make me notice things like that. Have you noticed that the home button was uneven vertical spacing? Oh, from the top and bottom. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't make imperfections. God, that's fine. It's fine. You know what's worse is the Nokia phone. Anyway, we got a lot of super chats to get to. Aiden Stalling says, "Tell us wild fantasies you hope for in AirPods 2." If there even is going to be an AirPods 2. You know, they didn't refresh the Lightning AirPods every year. They invented those with the iPhone 5, and they kept them to this day. They still have them. They just changed the Lightning. So it's not like I think AirPods are going to get yearly refreshes. They're headphones. They're not smartphones. But if there were going to be changes, I would like it to be possible to scroll up and down on them for volume, but it only changes like 4 to 3 ticks at a time, so it doesn't go really loud and blast your ears. But like if you stroke the stem or whatever from top to bottom, it would maybe raise up 4 to 3 clicks, and if you just go halfway, maybe 2 clicks, something like that. Of course, better sounding audio, better waterproofing, stuff like that, better battery life, all the basic ones. Okay. Vunier Drone and Tech says, "I recently made my first tech video. I love talking about tech since we are both tech YouTubers. Maybe we can collab." Of course, if you're interested in collaborating, the best thing to do is contact me via Twitter, but I do have to give a little bit of a warning. I can't really collaborate with every single person who wants to answer me. I know that may seem hypocritical given Marquez responded to me, but the problem is I'm working so hard on all of these other channels that trying to find the time where we can do certain collaborations. And I am trying to collaborate with other YouTubers now because I understand that's how other channels get publicity and that's how you can expand your audience as well. I'm trying to organize a collaboration video with Apple Watch World, which is another tech channel that has around 11,000 subscribers. And we're already running into problems. We haven't even started yet, and we're trying to... His idea of collaboration video is a lot different than mine. I'm trying to say, like, let's do kind of like a sit-down talk interview where we can talk about technology, and he's saying we should do an edited short video where we just cut back and forth, and I'm questioning that, like, what's the advantage of that? Then it's just my video on your channel, and you're also in it, and the people on your channel won't know me, and if I uploaded something like that to my channel, I feel like you guys would be rather confused, because you'd be like, I don't know who this guy is, why am I watching this guy too? Just have Drew. So there's gonna be, it's kind of complicated to organize collaboration videos like that, but I can tell you, if I do have the free time, I would love to. But similar to Marquez, you should understand that, like, a lot of people ask that, and keep in mind, it's not necessarily, you can't look at a collaboration video on bigger channels as, well, it couldn't hurt, because it can. It literally can. Like, I'm not expecting Marquez to upload a video on his channel with me in it. And I am sure he wouldn't do that, because he knows that his channel is very anti-Apple in a lot of ways. Or not his channel, but his fan base, at least. Doesn't really care about big-end Macintoshes. If you read the comments on his videos, they know that they think the iPhone's ugly, Samsung's the best, Pixel's great, and stuff like that. Very polar opposite of me. So if someone like me appeared on MKBHD's channel, I would really just get more haters, and Marquez would probably get a lot of disrespect for collaborating with someone who's so openly biased. It's very different. So it's not, you can't just say that collaborating is really easy and fun, but I would gladly love to appear on other people's channels, but I can't promise you that a collaboration video would necessarily mean you showing up on my channel. Because that has the potential to show something that my fans don't want, and then question, you know, what kind of content they're going to be seeing. It's like, well, if I'm going to be getting a different YouTuber, you know, that's smaller than him every week, I don't want to subscribe to that. So it's potentially harmful. But I'm going to collaborate with you as honestly and as capability as I can. Gabber says you are honest as hell. That is true, because I believe that is important. You know, a lot of people commented, because I've been getting a lot of views recently on these videos, and they're not all nice. A lot of people are commenting on the fact that, you know, the fact that I am openly biased is the reason my channel is small. They're like, if you ever expect to have 1 million, you need to be less biased. And to me, I think it's ridiculous to try to approach reviewing tech as something that can be unbiased. Because we all grew up with something. We all grew up using some kind of tech, probably more than other kinds of tech. And to me, I'm not looking at my channel as being openly biased. That's a bad thing. That means you're a bad reviewer. I just think that makes it more honest, to be honest. Because, you know, I'm really excited to collaborate with Marquez, and I love that we disagree on things, because it means a conversation is even that more interesting. But one thing, honestly, I would approach him about and try to ask is, again, sometimes I lose my train of thought. It's very late right now. But something I would want to ask is, crap, what was I going to say? Is it possible to truly review something at an unbiased opinion? And one criticism I would have of a lot of Marquez's reviews is, basically you can sum up every review he has with, it's pretty good. That's almost every review he does, and to me, when I'm watching a channel like that, I don't feel that much in depth. I don't feel like that's a good point. I didn't think about that before, and I don't get that in many tech channels. So I'm not trying to say he's doing a bad job and other people are. I'm just saying that when I'm watching a tech review, I'm hoping for a little bit more than just the obvious. Don't just mention what it has. Don't list through the tech specs and then stop there. Just try to bring up good points and try to bring up things that you don't think very many people are mentioning. If you're interested in starting a tech channel, or you are running a tech channel, try to consider that, because that's something I try to consider. What's something no one else is pointing out? And I think the Pixel was like the prime example of that. All these other YouTubers were saying, oh, it's a good approach of Google making their own phone. And I felt like the one logical guy on the internet going, hello, this thing is expensive and it sucks. What the heck? So that's my advice, and that would be my criticism, is that yes, I am biased, but I'm admitting that everyone is biased, and so much of the tech world and so much of my audience especially really loves Apple, and I think that there's a lot of supposedly unbiased tech channels that make you feel bad about that. There's a comment section on YouTube and there's an atmosphere on YouTube that really feels like it's not okay to like Apple products, and if you are, it's because you're dumb. I keep seeing that answer to a lot of people like, okay, well the iPhone's not as good because no customization and the Android OS is much more opening, and then I try to say that, you know, the iPhone operating system to me is far more opening because the way it works with other products like the Apple Pencil and the MacBook with AirDrop and the iPad running iOS, where Android does not have that friendliness on a bigger screen. I look at iOS as being more open, and then people say, you know, well, that's not true because Android looks better, and then we're talking about aesthetics, and they're saying, well, Android still looks better in my opinion, and I say, then why do so many people choose iPhone? If the tech specs are better on your phone, they would have outsold the iPhone years ago, but they don't. The iPhone is still continuously one of the highest in customer satisfaction. People line up around the block to buy them like no other phone. Why do they do so well? And usually the answer is, well, because people who buy Apple products are dumb. They don't know any better. I don't like that. So that's something I wanted to combat with my tech channel, is to say, no, there is a right answer. Apple is the best. Sure, I'm going to listen to you when you tell me that I'm wrong, but I'm going to stick to an opinion. I'm not going to try to sit up here and act like I'm going to treat both arguments fairly. I'm going to be like a defense lawyer for Apple. I'm going to say, here's some facts. Here's why I think the Apple ecosystem works better than any other, and I'd love to hear the counterpoint. And I've yet to be proven wrong in my book. There's been people who counter me with other things that Android and Windows can do, but it's never been worth it to me in the long run. Anyway, there's some super chats here. Ash Film said, Dad, Grandpa's on the chat. Is that another dad joke? Stop. Okay, stop with the dad joke. Okay. Veneer Drone in Texas, I'm a biased Apple sheep like you. I hate Windows. See, there's a lot of people out there like me, but then again, there's a lot of people who hate Mac OS and love Windows. And that's fine, because you grew up with something, and I'm just trying to say, debating is not necessarily, and, you know, debating is the nice word. The harsh word is arguing. Arguing or debate, I prefer the word debate. Debating about a topic is not necessarily just about trying to convert the other person. I love debating. I love a good civil discussion of ideas that are conflicting. That's why I'm so excited for Marquez, is I think we do disagree on a lot of things, and I think I may throw him a couple questions that he might not be ready for. Because usually when I'm watching his channel, I feel like he's never answering those tough questions. But when you debate with someone on passionate ideas, it helps you understand your point of view better. Because honestly, before I started this tech channel, I just liked Apple products because I said they're reliable and they look good. But now, when I started watching other tech channels and I started seeing all these debates in the comments and seeing all these complaints about Apple and me trying to defend them, it really makes me realize why I love it so much. It helps me strengthen my argument and my reasoning, and it makes me feel more for sure and secure about my decision. And maybe, for the counterpoint, for the Android users and the Windows users, perhaps you watching me may help you understand why you love Android and why you love Windows so much. Which in that case, it's a win-win. So I'm not trying to debate with Marquez to convince him to buy an Apple Watch or to convince him to switch to iOS only. That's not what I'm trying to do when I'm going to be asking questions about the Apple ecosystem and about the headphone jack and about the Pixel. That's not my effort. It's literally genuine curiosity on why you choose the products that you choose, because I don't think they're worth it. I don't think the products that you enjoy are worth the money, and I think that my alternative tech of the Apple ecosystem is a better buy. In the long run, it's worth it. And I'm genuinely curious on your reasoning about that. So it's not necessarily an argument. I don't want people to think that. Darren Wang says, love how your vids make really good points. Thank you very much, Darren. I appreciate that. Appreciate all donations. Okay. Dylan says, I always like to tell people to look at phones like the OnePlus 5. They think if
It looks like an iPhone, they will buy it. Android still sucks. Samsung has done the best job at it. Yeah, that's a good point, Dylan, and thank you for your donation. I don't, the OnePlus 5 confuses me. Because it seems like sometimes they unnecessarily duplicate the iPhone, which is a shame because the OnePlus phones in the past have looked far more original than the iPhone 7. And it's almost unbearable how replica they try to make it. It's a bit frustrating to me when it's like, okay, yeah, you want a dual camera and you decided that in the top left corner is the best place for it, and you want to put the flash right next to it, okay, you know, phones have dual cameras now, that's fine. But then when they start matching the color tones of an iPhone 7, when they start doing matte black with it as well, and they put their brand logo in the same place, they got the same screen size, the same pixels per inch, the same, you know, home button in the same place, and all that, that's when it gets a little too far for me. It's like, okay, no, I don't think having a dual camera and a flash in the top left corner is what makes it look like an iPhone. It's close, but I don't think that alone is what does it. It's the overwhelming amount of similarities. When they start doing the colors the same way, it's like, why don't you make some colors that Apple doesn't have? That would be an original approach. Or just make your phones how they used to look, like the OnePlus 3 and OnePlus 4. They look totally different. They didn't look like iPhones at all. And I do agree that Samsung, I think, has done the best job at putting Android in a very sophisticated hardware package. But then at the same time, there's still a lot of Fandroids out there who will agree that, you know, the Pixel is the best choice because it's stock Android. So they literally will choose an Android phone based on how it boots up. Even though, as I have seen, people can really... I've seen people tinker with Android customization to make any phone look like the Pixel. Yes, it's a lot of tinkering, but you can really... There's nothing terribly exclusive about the Google Pixel. There's better packages almost everywhere. And I can't say it for sure, but I almost wonder if the Essential phone may be a better Android phone than the Samsung ones. It's definitely lacking in several areas. You know, no headphone jack, no expandable storage, which is advantages to Samsung, no waterproofing. But design-wise, I kind of prefer the way the Essential phone looks. But that's just me. I like the idea of the single-sized bezel all around the top and the edges. But that's just me. Did you hear anything about second edition AirPods and water resistance? No. Again, there's not been any updates on AirPods refresh. I don't think it's going to happen this year, if anything. For some reason, I have a particular hate towards Samsung. Also, I hate debating for one reason. People keep using the same defeated point to try and beat you. My sister lost a debate because of it. Oh, yes. Look, I'm definitely not trying to argue that debating is done well. It's certainly not. And I think that's likely the biggest problem we have on Earth is that we don't know how to have conversations with each other. I just watched a video on Facebook. I don't even know if I should talk about this. It's a little political. And I don't like getting political. This is supposed to be a tech channel. But basically, I'll sum it up this way, and maybe you can guess what it is, but I won't tell you. I saw a video on Facebook before I was live streaming this of someone who was approaching a certain crowd that was protesting or supporting something and was just trying to understand their reasoning. They were approaching it with a logical viewpoint. They weren't saying, you guys are wrong, you guys are all idiots. They were calm. They were going up and saying, why are you here? What is your stance? What are you trying to say with this organization of, you know, a large amount of people? What are you trying to say? And it always responded with overwhelming amount of, why are you against us? Why do you do this? How can you handle it? And just a lot of yelling and a lot of interrupting and not letting the other person speak. And it saddens me because I know that that's something that's very common in this world, especially in the YouTube comments. And sadly, very common when large amounts of people are together. They get very stupid and they like to team up against an individual. And they get loud and they rely on their voice being so loud to get their point across better, or they rely on language to carry their point across better. And it's not looking at the content of the character and trying to understand that, yes, while I disagree with you, I want to understand your point of view better, and hopefully I can get my point across so that you can understand my point of view better. And yes, we can leave this conversation disagreeing, but we can still respect each other. We can still have our voices. We don't have to lose all that. And we don't have to be jerks towards each other. I think there are ways to be respectful and disagree at the same time. Anyway, don't mean to get too political there. Hi, love your channel. I am also an Apple sheep. Whenever I have an argument about Samsung versus Apple, other people always talk about RAM and specs. Can you say why people still buy iPhones? Well, I can. It's because the majority of things people use their smartphones for are not typically related to specifications because people aren't video editing on their phone. And if you are, you're going to do it on an iPhone because there's no good video editing Android apps. The primary reason I think people stick with iPhone is the exclusivity. If there's any one thing in particular, if someone had a gun to my head and said, what's the one thing that makes people keep buying iPhones? It would be the exclusives. The fact that Apple is the one tech company that actually tries to build products that can work together. It's one of the only companies that says, we're going to design software and hardware optimized for each other, and that in return will result in a better performing product. That's why you see the incredible Geekbench scores on the iPhone 7 Plus that still have not been beat in many other smartphones, even though it's approaching a year old. That's why you see the A10X chip smoking some laptops on the iPad Pro, and why you see features like continuity and AirDrop between the iPhone 7 and a MacBook. I love the fact that I can shoot 4K video on my phone, wirelessly send it to my Mac where I can edit with Final Cut Pro. Again, another great exclusive. There's not a Windows parallel of Final Cut, an app that is optimized for the hardware it's on so that rendering is super fast, exporting is super fast. If you're on Windows, you got to use Premiere, and that's not going to perform as well as Final Cut. You're not going to get the same kind of rendering speeds, background tasks, and exporting speeds, and it's because Apple tries to make something altogether, uniform, that all communicates within-house, and I think that's the better way in terms of designing any kind of product. The way to go is to design it yourself inside and out. Like SpaceX is a great company that I talked about in the most recent episode of Hello World over on Talos of Talks. In SpaceX, the difference between SpaceX and NASA is they design almost all of the parts of the rocket ship themselves, where NASA relies on multiple different countries to design the parts, and in certain instances are allowing Russia to design their rockets. And if there's going to be space races or any competition in space travel, you can't really have, each different country designing different parts, because it's harder for those communities and governments and businesses, space programs, to communicate with each other when they're literally overseas. So you have to be more careful about things like that, where SpaceX is able to make the rockets fly for much, much, much cheaper because they're designing everything in-house. So that's another big point. And Dylan, also, thank you for your super chat, has a great point as well. Apple is simplicity. I do think that's a big part of it, but I don't think that's necessarily why people choose Apple. They may think that's what it is, but I don't necessarily think that's the standalone reason. It may seem like that at sometimes, but I definitely think there are instances where Windows 10 and Android can be simple. You can design them so they're easier to understand and easy to use. And as you guys have watched, I've reviewed many, many Android phones in my time. I don't think that they're necessarily too complicated. The problem is Android works great on a phone and nothing else. Android Wear's a joke. Android on a tablet's a joke. And it doesn't work that well with Windows. And since there's no Android equivalent of a desktop OS that can compare to Mac OS, there's Chrome OS, but that's a joke. That's just a browser. That's what I think the primary reason. Typically, those people... Okay, sorry. I'm stuttering a lot. Typically, people who have an Apple product have more than one. That's just statistics. Okay, we got another super chat here. Veneer Joan in Texas, I've recently got the 10.5-inch iPad Pro. Please tell me how you hold it and how you make it comfortable to use. A laptop goes on lap, but how to use iPad? It should be so light and thin that you just hold it. That's what I do. Or sometimes when I'm on my bed like this, pretend the bottom of the MacBook is the iPad. I'll just rest it on my lap and type on it that way. And lots of times I love to use it in portrait mode because you can see so much information on the screen at once. I use it for picture-in-picture, and there's really not like any, I only use it in landscape, I only use it in portrait. I really use it in both pretty evenly. And I do use it on a daily basis. I think it's really great that Apple has turned around kind of the stigma that tablets are dying. I feel like that's finally changing. Well, yeah, I haven't given you guys like a big super chat incentive in a while. I'm trying to think of one. Oh, for that person who's talking about, guys, if they're asking questions and they're not spamming too much, you don't have to delete their moderators. I'm talking to, you don't have to delete their message if they're spamming if they're just copy and pasting their comment every once in a while, like maybe once every 3-5 minutes, that's fine. It's just if someone's obviously spamming things that are not related to technology at all and just pressing the enter button as fast as they can, yeah, ban those people. But if they're just asking questions, like I think I watched Anand's comment get deleted, so I'm going to open it up here. And he said, Drew, please do Tuesday live streams 2 to 3 hours later now that school has started. Many USA students cannot watch the live streams or during school hours. I understand that, and look, no matter when I stream, it's going to be inconvenient for someone because there's 40,000 of you. I can't find a time where it all works. But I don't think I'll be live streaming at 10 a.m. this Tuesday. It's likely going to be later in the afternoon because we have some work being done in the house, and they don't want me in here. I'm supposed to be out of the house for a while. Anyway. Someone was asking earlier how my girlfriend was, and I felt bad about that because sadly not that well. She got in a car crash recently, and it made her neck real sore. Just a couple nights ago, it was pretty sad. And at the same time, before she got in a car crash, we were pulling into my friend's house, and there was a poor dead baby deer in the road, and it was still kind of moving, and that just tore her heart apart. It was really, really sad, and the mom was, we could see the mother deer far away. So I put gloves on, and I drug it out of the road, and we checked to make sure it was really dead, and it was just really sad. She had a hard day, and then after that got in a car crash, and now today, for the most part, her fender was just destroyed, but the car was working fine. But then today, on her way home, the car motor started failing, and she couldn't drive very fast, and she lives about 30 minutes away. So something's wrong with the motor. So she's having a hard time right now. I feel bad for her because she's the sweetest person I've ever met, and she's the nicest person I've ever met, and she's having all these terrible things happen to her. I feel so bad. So I'm just trying to be there for her as much as I can. I'm going to drive her to work if she needs me to. I'm going to call her insurance and take over everything as much as I can. I'm trying to get the car fixed as much as possible. I just feel bad for her, and someone was asking about that earlier, so I wanted to answer you. Anyway, that's not tech related, but still, just worth mentioning. How long do you think of some arguments for your videos? How long do you think of some arguments for video? Not long. I have kind of noticed that my approach to looking at content, I've noticed, is kind of rare. I usually see things that a lot of people don't, and I probably sound like a real selfish douche right now, but I legitimately have started to notice that I see things in products that other people don't. And it's just something that I've done for my job now because I'm so interested in tech. And I am genuinely interested in technology. I'd be watching tech videos even if it wasn't my job to. I am interested in tech. In that approach to it, in that the fact that I love debating and I love talking to people about why I choose certain products has made me very, very interested in coming up with counterpoints. So I think, like, in another reality, I'd probably make a really good lawyer because I can usually twist things into my favor very, very well. So, and I think Scott had something to say here. He says, can confirm he films Hello World with no script and says his thoughts with very few mistakes. Pretty sure it's the same with tech. Yes, you're correct. We're editing tomorrow's tech video right now, actually. My editor Nathan's working on it as we speak. And they both can confirm, as well as Scott, who edits Hello World, that most of the videos are not scripted anymore. Because They used to be. I used to script every single video, but I got, when you do something every day, you kind of get used to it. And usually my thoughts, a lot of which come out on the spot. While I'm filming it, I will think of something. So I just kind of look at it as I'm debating with the camera, in a way. And whenever I look down that lens and see that little sensor on the inside, I'm looking at 40,000 people. That's kind of how I film my tech videos, and a lot of it is improv. Especially a lot of the jokes are not planned. But the big iPhone edition video I'm working on, that was definitely scripted. There was so much to cover, I couldn't possibly memorize the whole thing. It's probably looking to be around over 30 minutes, 35, maybe 40 minutes. There's going to be a little bit of joke shots in there. The headphone jack video where I joke about having flashbacks of the headphone jack and freaking out about it. It's going to be kind of like that. There's going to be a little bit of skit involved with it as well. I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm just saying there's more to it than a regular tech video. But yeah, I don't make a lot of mistakes usually. I'll make occasional missteps, but they're very similar to these live streams as it is. I just kind of talk to the camera and think out loud. That's why I like live streaming. It's really easy and I don't have to edit. Do you think Final Cut X should be on iOS for iPad? Because iMovie kind of sucks. I agree. And yes, it should, to answer your question, but it doesn't sound like they're moving it. But Wayne Johnny, if you're interested in a more professional editing app on iPad, I strongly would recommend LumaFusion Pro. It's $20, so it's a bit expensive for an iOS app. And that's probably another thing keeping Apple from putting Final Cut X on iPad. The idea of a $300 app is probably not going to sell very well. But LumaFusion gives you bitrate options when exporting. You can edit in almost any resolution. 2K, 3K, 2.7K, 4K, 1080, 60, 4K at 60. All kinds of options. And it runs really great on the new iPad Pro with its new processor. I edited one of my tech videos on it. It had a couple glitches, but for the most part, I'm sure they've updated them and patched them. But that's something I'd recommend if you want to edit professionally on an iPad, LumaFusion Pro. There we go. Vipop Combs says, I recommend LumaFusion. Just finished editing my AirPods review on that app. There you go. See, it can work. Do you think Apple will refresh iPad mini? Steve Jobs said he would never make one, but once he was gone, they made it. Yeah, it's because he's dead. He doesn't have to say in a matter. You're not going to care. He's gone. The problem is sales. I understand that every Apple product has some fan base, but I just don't think that the iPad mini is selling super well, and that's the reason they're not focusing on it much. It's just not doing very well. If it was selling like crazy, I'm sure they would upgrade it, but I'm guessing it's not. I was trying to think of a really good Super Chat donation. One thing I thought of that would be kind of risky, because you guys probably wouldn't stay loyal to it. Because I was about to ask, can I trust you guys to keep a secret? But then I was like, of course not. You guys are going to spam any secret I tell you on comments. But I was thinking, maybe if someone donated like a crazy amount, if someone donated something insane, like, I don't know, someone donates $100, I'll tell you what Project Evergreen is. No jokes, no humor. I'll like legitimately unveil it. If someone donated something even crazier, like $300, $400, I'd tell you what Newport is. And believe me, it's exciting. So there you go. There's something big. Are you going to watch the boxing? I'm sorry, I know everyone's talking about the boxing. I don't follow sports of any kind, really. So I'm too busy on work to really find big blocks of time where I can watch any kind of sports like that. So it's just not something I'm super into because I'm working almost 24/7. The models of the new phones show that the iPhone 8 has the longer power button. So surely there must be a purpose for it. Could it be Touch ID? I feel like we would have seen that, though. I feel like we would have seen some HomePod software or new thing if they were going to put Touch ID in the iPhone. And I have the dummy model. It has the elongating button on it. I don't think that would be a good place to put Touch ID. It can't read that much of your fingerprint because it's so thin and narrow. It's just... I know that there's phones in the past that have put Touch ID on the power button, but it's just... They're usually flatter and thicker, and the iPhones are usually rounded, and I don't think a rounded Touch ID sensor on stainless steel is going to work as well, and it's also just too thin to get a valid fingerprint. You know, we have a circle fingerprint now, so it can scan big chunks of your finger and you can readjust it a little bit. Whereas if it's the power button, you'd have to go like a line across at a time. It'd be very hard. I don't think there's going to be Touch ID. I think they just... I literally make a joke about it in the iPhone edition video that's coming up. It was like, I don't know why. They made the power button bigger. Maybe it's easier to press. It's just different. It's a unique change. Maybe that makes it worth it. I don't know. It's just... I don't get it. They needed something to be different, I guess. I don't think there's gonna be Touch ID. Holy crap. Dylan. He wrote Apple Sheep and donated $100. Oh no, I have to do it. I didn't think you guys would do it. Oh, I have to tell you now. Oh, Project Evergreen, I gotta tell you. Okay, let me get it ready. Okay, guys, look. Before we go into this, can we keep a secret? Listen, I'm serious. I'm legitimately going to be looking in the chat. Can you guys... I'm going to say something in this live stream that has not been announced on any tech network. And I know that there's probably jerks out there who are just going to spam it on all the comments or on Twitter or whatever. Please don't, because I want this to be a surprise. But for the generosity of Dylan... just the people watching this live stream right now are going to get a very, very special sneak peek. Okay? They're going to get something that no other... I'm not going to announce this everywhere else. This isn't just moving up the announcement. Okay? I'm just going to announce it early. And keep in mind, it's not entirely ready yet. But let me get it ready in the chat here. Project Evergreen. Let me get the link ready. Give me a second. And remember, guys, we don't want this spamming all over the place. I know that there's probably jerks out there that are going to do it anyway, but just, this is for you. There's 199 people watching right now. This is the top secret announcement that wasn't going to be announced till August 30th, and still officially isn't going to be announced until August 30th. But because of Dylan's generosity, I'm going to do it. Okay? And I'm very, very excited for Evergreen. Didn't think I was going to be doing this tonight. This is exciting. There is a new Tailosive channel. That is a big one. An active one. A very, very active one. There is a new Tailosive channel that's been active for almost a week now. But we don't call it Tailosive because obviously we want to hype it up. And it's going to get content on a daily basis. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, but luckily, an extremely, very, very generous fan has offered to run it for us. And it's a lot different than the other channels, but I can say I've been subscribed to this private channel for that we're going to convert to, you know, part of the Tailosive network very, very quick. I'm going to post the channel link in the description so you guys can check it out early, okay? Because I'm going to announce it here. I've been subscribed to it for the past week, and I've enjoyed all of its daily content. The big announcement, Tailosive Music. The music channel, the green one, is coming back, you guys. This is really, really fun to announce. I have the link in the chat here. It's not called Tailosive Music yet. On August 30th, we're going to be changing the name to it for Tailosive Music. As of now, it's going to be called... As of now, it's called Evergreen Music, and every day it's going to be like Trap Nation. He's going to be promoting work from other artists with a cool Tailosive visualizer. It's going to be good since it's you. Well, the music. This guy he's asked to be anonymous. The guy who's running this channel for us really picks music I like. So for those people questioning what kind of music I'm into, basically this. Taylor's music better than Apple Music. Here comes the link, everyone. So it's officially called Evergreen Music for now, but on August 30th, in a few days, it's going to be called Tailosive Music. Please, guys, keep it a secret. I didn't expect Dylan to donate so much. I probably should have aimed the super chat higher. But thank you for your incredibly generous donation. You lied. I was right. You're right. Some people thought that's what it was, and I said it wasn't, but that's because I wanted it to be a surprise. We're working on more and more stuff for you. Okay, here comes the link. All right, here it goes. So it's not official yet. Keep that in mind. But the videos he has posted to it right now are incredible. I love the music. I love the visualizers. From here on out, he's going to be uploading all of them at 1080 at 60. Which means that if you subscribe to this one, because there's a lot of Tailosive sheep out there that just subscribe to every single channel, you're going to be getting a new music pick of the day every single morning. You're going to get another bit of music from Tailosive Music that I really enjoy. And for the most part, we're trying to keep family friendly. He's published a few songs that had a couple curse words in them, but he erased them because they were subtle. They weren't like constant. And I really like the kind of music he publishes. So I'm very, very grateful that this fan has been willing to support it. And because it's only 4 days away, I want you guys to have the first look because of Dylan's generosity. So thank you very, very, very much. And again, if who else is feeling crazy donation, I'm going to raise the bar a little bit. 400. I didn't think that would be so easy. If someone donates 400, I'll tell you what Project Newport is, and I'm gonna say right up front, it's better than Evergreen. Evergreen's cool. Tailosive Music is back, you guys. Okay? It's returned. And on August 30th, we're gonna change the logo. We've got a Twitter lined out for it already. It's got a Facebook page and all of that. And every single day, supposedly, there might be some changes in the future, but every single day, there's going to be a new video. New music pick. And I really hope you guys like it. And by far out of the three top secret projects, which now Evergreen, you know, Evergreen is the least eventful. Okay? So a whole new music channel, whole new channel to Tailosive to add to the entire network. That was the basic announcement. That's why it was the low ball. That was the $100 one. How much for Photon? Okay, you might not believe this, but Project Photon is so much work, so much time is going into it, I'm not going to tell you. Even for $500, I'm not going to say. Okay, you know what, guys? You know what you could do? It's getting late, so we might start wrapping the stream up here at any moment. But, what would be funnier than you guys? I'm sure someone out there is watching this and I'm going to go tell everyone what Evergreen is all over the place, and they're just going to spoil it for everyone. I'm sure someone's going to do that because they're a jerk and they want to ruin it. You can't donate $1,000, you guys. You can only donate $500, and for $500, I'm sorry, I still wouldn't tell you what Photon is. It's too big. It's too big a project to reveal this early. There's going to be a trailer for it. I'm already working on the trailer, and it's going to be such a big deal that I want you guys to record your reactions to the trailer. And I'd love for you guys to send them to me or submit them on Twitter or whatever, because I just want to see your guys' faces when you see Project Photon revealed, because it's going to be really, really cool. What was I talking about? What would be funnier than spoiling it is convincing everyone it was something else. That would make the surprise even greater, you guys. There's a big joke in tomorrow's Saturday short that I'm telling what Project Evergreen is, and it's all don't force him to donate. He's donated way too much money already. If you told everyone that Project Evergreen was like a food channel, we're starting a new food channel soon, that we're gonna do cooking and like review and do food challenges, that would be even greater, because then people would be like, oh no, I know what Project Evergreen is. He said it's gonna be a food channel. I'm encouraging you guys to do that, okay? You got the sneak peek. For those who missed it, Project Evergreen, Tailosive Music, it's coming back. There's the link. It's in the chat. It's going to be announced on August 30th. It's going to get the logo and everything. It's going to be back. It has gained a lot of subs quickly, and I hope you guys enjoy it, because the music on that channel I love. I love that style of music, and I love that it's kind of like Trap Nation with the music player. But if you guys want to make it better for me, I encourage you to, on videos and on Twitter or whatever, comment as much as you want. Evergreen is a food channel. It's a food review channel. It's a food challenge channel. It's a new Taylosoph channel. That'll just throw everyone off when it actually comes out. That way it'll be a little bit surprising. Okay. Sorry we didn't talk about... Project Evergreen is a collaboration with Gordon Ramsay as a food channel. Or yeah, make up any lie you want, honestly. If you want to make jokes about Evergreen as a weed channel, sure. As long as you guys can drown out the jerks who are going to try to spoil it for everyone with other comments, with other tweets or whatever thing, saying that Evergreen is a music channel, just drown them out with lies. Okay? So this live stream, you guys are in luck, is not going to be available for a while. Okay, this is gonna stay private because I announced something top secret because Dylan was so generous. It's a book. Yes, there you go. Andrew's writing a book. All kinds of fake stuff you guys can make fun of. This isn't gonna be available to watch after it's live. Okay, I've decided. I'm not gonna delete it. I'll publish it though. If you're watching this after it's live, you know what Project Evergreen is. I'll publish this after this. Look at that. James Kennedy is admitting it. The music is good. So glad I joined when I did. See, this is the advantage of these live streams. You get some sneak peeks. You don't have to donate $400, please. There's got to be some secrets with Taylosoph, all right? It's big. All right? Photon and Newport are some of the biggest announcements ever coming to Taylosoph, probably in several years. And the reason, you guys, I like having these top secret projects with code names and everything is I don't think I'm always going to have them. And I think when they're all announced and you guys know what they all are, they're not going to be... You're going to be wishing for more. There's going to be times where we're really busy and we're working and everyone's going to ask, any top secret projects in the works or planned up? And there probably will be times where we don't have anything top secret in the works. So that's why we're doing it this way. Anyway, Dylan, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for your tremendous generosity. It's getting late, and I've got a lot of work to do tomorrow, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here. When are you announcing Photon? I don't want to put a date on it yet, but we're getting close. I will say we're getting close to announcing Photon. I'm not going to make any promises. Project Evergreen is a Hackintosh. Ideally, if Photon goes according to plan, which it's such a big project, it might not. Things might go wrong. If Project Photon goes according to plan, September 10th, you'd get the reveal. And by the way, I want you guys to film your reactions. I want to see your guys' faces. Samsung and Apple should make a phone together. Nope. Okay, Ash Film says, check my comment on your newest Friday video. Okay, I will try. There's a lot, but I will try to find it. Thank you for your donation, though. Okay, last comments, last questions, donations, anything you want. Let's wrap it up here. Yeah, September 10th. I would like to get you guys interested in, so that you all know what Project Photon is before the iPhone comes out. Because when the iPhone comes out, we're going to want to talk about that. We're going to want to focus on that. You don't want to focus on some stupid project Drew's been working on. Will you get the iMac Pro? I really, really want to, okay? I'm going to try my very, very best. What I can tell you is that Project Photon will be on the main channel. Okay, it's related to the Taylosoph main. Vinny, don't spam, please. It gets old. Spam too many times. I have never pro-ordered any iPhone and want to get an 8, but I don't know how to pre-order. So how do I pre-order? Please respond. I've waited since March to get it. You're going to be refreshing the Apple page a lot, or the Apple Store app. Just apple.com and the app, or the Apple Store app. Refresh them like crazy at midnight when the pre-orders go live. That's when you'll see them. Can you afford the iMac? It'll depend. If we have a lot of generous people like you guys were tonight, like Dylan and Durka, if you guys keep up with the donations, probably. we might even lean towards like a for sure, yes, the iMac Pro is happening. But as of right now, there's so many other expenses. There's so many things I'm saving for and buying. And there's a lot of backstage stuff that is costing a lot of money that it's not a for sure thing. It's 50-50. I don't want you guys to count on me buying it. It's very possible that I won't be able to afford it and we just won't buy it. I still want you guys to consider that possibility. Okay. Do you think the iPhone 8 and 7S means they won't release any phone until the fall of 2018? Wouldn't they anyway? No, there was a rumor that they were going to update the iPhone SE in March of 2018. Just give it an A10X chip or something. Photon, because it's lit. Yep, you got it. Man, I love your videos. I am an Apple Sheep too, and you're my favorite YouTuber. Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate that. Ceramic Apple Watch Series 3. Yeah, you know, that would also be a boring Series 3 I thought of. It's like, what if they just made another ceramic one? We thought that they made a gold one. They made a ceramic one. This one will be a different again. It didn't. Are you getting the HomePod? Yes, the HomePod is a for sure thing happening. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure which color to get. I can't decide. So when the HomePod is available to purchase, I'll do a Twitter poll about it, and I'll do like a who wants the black HomePod, who wants the white HomePod. Whichever one wins, I'll buy that one. So you guys will decide which HomePod I get. And I keep seeing this comment a lot, so I wanted to read it. ProdDip says, seeing your video, I feel like you are talking to me. It's the reason why I always search for your video when I open YouTube. Well, I appreciate that. That's what I kind of hope to do with this, is I'm a good communicator. You can get my point across. Sadly, I don't get to hear you that much, but the live stream is a very good way to do that, and I hope you feel heard. Okay. Do a collaboration with Everything Apple Pro? Well, if you didn't watch Refried Friday, maybe you missed the news. The second highest liked comment on his video on the Beta 7 update was people saying you should collaborate with Tailosive Tech. It got something like 300 likes. It was up there. He deleted it. So we know he at least knows of me. He's just not interested in collaborating with me, and that's totally fine. I don't blame at all. I can't collaborate with everyone who asked me to. I would like to, but he's probably too busy. I'm so small a channel, it would gain him nothing. He's probably a busy guy anyway. He just doesn't want to. You're not a jerk YouTuber if you don't want to work with other YouTubers. It's just sometimes that's how YouTubers like to work. He probably dislikes you. It's possible. A lot of people don't like me. That doesn't bother me at all. I'm sure there's plenty of YouTubers who don't like me. It's just, I don't think YouTubers should have an obligation to collaborate. I've been noticing that recently because ever since Marquez offered to collaborate with me, I've been getting tons and tons of other offers. Can we collaborate? Because then I can say I collaborated with a person who collaborated with MKBHD. I don't think you should have to collaborate with other people because you feel like you'd be rude if you didn't. Sometimes people want their work to look the way they want it and edit the way they want it, and we shouldn't have to forcefully pressure them into changing the way they like their videos. I like the format of my videos in a very particular way, and personally I don't like it that much when someone shows up and starts saying how to edit your videos differently. I don't like that. So let's not force people to collaborate. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry I can't answer every single question, but again, there will be another live stream more in the evening of this Tuesday. And again, if you feel like you're not getting answered, Tailosive Gaming. We live stream twice a week. Much smaller channel, Tailosive Talks. I do Hello World and Tailosive Unbox. Plenty of content there. And the main channel, Tailosive, which is getting a Saturday short tomorrow, as well as Project Photon when it comes out. And if you haven't checked it out, there's going to be... I'm returning to Tailosive movie reviews tomorrow. Me and my friend Dan did a Dandrew episode today about 2D animation and 3D animation in Hollywood. So please check out Tailosive movie reviews because I'm going to be over there. And my friend Dan is working on a lot of projects over there as well. He uploads as often as he can. So plenty of channels for you guys to check out. And of course, while you're here, check out Project Evergreen. It's in the chat. But don't tell anyone. Remember? Everyone spam lies to everyone else. It's anything but Tailosive music. Just say it's anything else. That way the jerks don't get what they want. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate all of your donations. It's a book. Yes, it's a book. It's a Hackintosh. Just tell everyone it's something else. Anyway, this live stream is not going to be public until August 30th. You heard it here first, folks. You get perks for watching it live. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Wow, this is awkward. I can't hit the finish button. Now you're just going to hear my voice, and then it's going to get cut off.